So, if you guys are part of the demographic that listens to metal, which most of you guys are, otherwise I don't know why you would be following me. We all know that metal usually encompasses this kind of music that is really dark and heavy and brutal sometimes. In our best moments, we talk about like changing the world for the better, Coldplay style, wanting everyone to be better and stuff. And in our worst, or the other best, we talk about murdering people with an ice pick. Yeah, that's what we want. That's what every metalhead truly dreams of. You know, like the Junji Ito and Miyazaki little thing, where one of them draws horrible, very scary things, but it's super cute and nice, and the other one draws beautiful things, but it's actually a really angry old man. I guess it's kind of what happens in metal. The more violent the music you make is, if that somehow doesn't make you a reincarnate, then it makes you a cute little munchkin. From your requests on my close friends on Instagram, today we are going to talk about metal band members who are absolutely completely different in the real life. So first of all, we have Matt Heafy from Trivium, and he actually seems to be really friendly and approachable. Apart from that, he actually has a Twitch channel in which he streams, so yeah, go watch him on Twitch, honestly. Then there's, and I'm sorry, I'm going to butcher this, Michael Ackerfeld, who is from Opeth. People talk about how down to earth he is, and he basically just says that he's a bum who got lucky. He doesn't even consider himself a singer sometimes, which is kind of sad. And the people who have seen him in person have said that they had good experiences, and he was like a really calm, chill dude. Then there's Araya from Slayer, which I'm super surprised to find that he's actually a devout Catholic. He basically says that Slayer's imagery is only for shock value, which honestly I don't know how I feel about that. I'm not Catholic exactly, but I'm also not satanic or anything like that, obviously. The whole satanic imagery and like kind of black metal inspiration without actually being satanic, now I feel kind of cheated on. Anyway, he's a pretty family oriented dude. He lives in a family owned ranch with his wife and kids. He says that he always tries to at least fly commercially to see them sometimes. He honestly, like, everyone has something good to say about this guy. So yeah, I would have never expected it. Apart from the fact that they say Kerry King is a fucking asshole. And he even says that he sings country songs, like, for the kids and stuff. So he's like a ranch dude who also goes on tour to scream about Satan. It's crazy. I don't know how he wound up there. He has cows and shit. He has chickens and shit. He has pigs and shit. It's honestly super countryside thing. Then we have Nergal, or Adam Darsky, from Behemoth. So first of all, this guy is actually kind of rejects labels put onto him. He says that he's not only a musician, but he's also an entrepreneur, he's an artist, yada yada. And this guy also has a lot of different interests, a lot rooted in like mythology, and seems to have a lot of religious interests. He also fought legal battle in his own country, and he says that there should be freedom of expression and stuff. Nergal is the name of a Babylonian god, that's why he uses that name. He's trained in Latin and museology. He owns barbershops, and he also has a folk side project called Me and That Man. I actually want to listen to this shit. He also has a side project called Me and That Man, a really dark folk country vibe. It's honestly really strange, like a goth country song. So it's honestly for a very specific audience, but if you're into that, go ahead. He's a TV coach in The Voice of Poland. Then we have Devin Townsend from Rapping Young Lad, and this guy, he just seems like really aware. He has been diagnosed with bipolar disorder back in 97, I think, and he's talked about becoming sober and stuff like that. He's also talked about spirituality and says he doesn't believe in organized religion, but he actually is like a spiritual person who believes in something, an expression of God that's beyond our human rationality. He really doesn't like that whole like dogmatic kind of way that religion has. Religion rules, like you can't eat meat or stuff like that. Anything that's spirituality should be personal. Yeah, as I said before, he also talks about mental health, and he's all around a really introspective person who has definitely been through a lot. And then, and you guys know this one's coming, Corpsegrinder, who has been famous and going viral and shit for actually being a really nice dude. He often goes to Disneyland with his family, and he often donates the toys that he gets from claw machines to children's hospitals. So I feel like that's the most, like, that's the craziest difference of all. Like, first of all, Cannibal Corpse being the number one, like, I guess where the people who aren't really into metal would see them as the face for like extreme metal, and it's crazy how much of a contrast that is between him on stage and him live. But who said that people who scream about killing others or shooting blood from their gun are not loving people? Why does that have to be a contradiction? Then there's Troy Sanders from Mastodon. He's also talked about like his own views on making music, how he doesn't like to focus too much on the politics of the world. He likes to talk about timeless topics and personal topics, and he sees Mastodon as this kind of like bubble of their own, where they can talk about these subjects that are most important to them. Then last one that I found interesting, Mike Scheidt from Yob. First of all, he defines himself as a skeptical mystic. Second of all, he says that he draws from spirituality, Buddhism, Alan Watts, and mysticism, and not to preach, but to explain humanity and mortality. He's also pretty grounded even despite his fame. He says that they as a band had no expectations of getting to where they are now. And people say he's really chill, and even joining the crowd and just being there and talking to fans, like he's just another one of them. Also, in 2017, he had really bad health scare. He had diverticulitis, which is a chronic intestinal disease, and ever since then he has been trying to live a healthier lifestyle, stopping to drink and exercising and focusing on his well-being in general. He also calls himself a vocal nerd who's really like into the craft of singing and recognizing others' way of singing and trying to refine his craft. So he's a really dedicated guy, and I feel like with metal being so hard and the people who aren't used to it will always think that the people who are in it are messy and stuff. And of course there's everyone in everything. Obviously there's going to be messy people in metal or in pop or whatever, but there's also a lot of people who have their shit together and have just found a liking for this kind of music. And I feel like people sometimes cannot imagine that, because they just think if they like that, then there's no doubt that they must be this or be that. But it's honestly just like a music taste, just becomes natural to you. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this little compilation I have for you. Honestly, I found this prompt really interesting. Yeah, I feel like liking one thing is not exclusive to being a certain type of way, and I think the latter is just, it just makes more sense than anything else. But you know, I feel like metal is so stigmatized, and with this channel I try to demystify it. I feel like also just being how I am, looking how I look, I've had a lot of raised brows as to what I was like, but I feel like it's just liking like any other music genre. This one's just heavier, and this is what we like. If you want to join my close friends list on Instagram, you can support me on Patreon, where I also post rants and just like inside stuff, but nothing weird. You can see me on Twitch, where I stream horror games, and then there's my Instagram, which I do polls in sometimes and just tell you about the horrible things that happen to me on a daily basis. This was CORNEA-SAL, and I'll see you.